The Need for Speed saga is the world record holder when it comes to productivity. This fall will mark the 15th anniversary of EA's first version of the game. After years dedicated to the obscure world of tuning, the game returns to its roots with cops and robbers. Need for Speed is trying to get back on track after the disappointment of Pro Street. The second generation of this next-gen racing game takes place in a large town in which you'll have to know how to infiltrate a gang of car thieves. You're the cop, whose job it is to impress the other drivers, and you'll have to take part in races situated in the four corners of Tri-City. There are several types of race and challenges to be met in the heart of this gigantic metropolis. The traditional races from point A to point B and races on closed circuits. There are chase races with the police where you have to race flat out to escape from the law, and different missions to deliver the stolen vehicles. The real difference in the presentation of NFSU is that the game was created in the way of a movie. The scenario will leave you thinking you're in the middle of an episode of Miami CSI. The marketing and advertising campaign behind the game is approaching more and more that of a major film release. NFS Undercover offers the player to choose from a collection of today's most popular road cars: the Audi R8, Nissan GTR, Porsche GT3 and Aston Martin DB9. The most luxurious and most sought-after cars on the planet are all here. The possibility of customising, even personalising, is a common element in the NFS series, but this time the customisations haven't been pushed to the limits. You can change the colour of the car, add on the finest wheels and add on the aerodynamic bits. It is sober but effective. If you compare NFS Undercover to Midnight Club LA, the EA game is a pale comparison. And unfortunately, this isn't the only sector in NFS has been outdone by its rival. There isn't the charm of a city like LA in the Tri-City street races. All you can set in as you drive around this huge but empty town. There are no pedestrians or traffic. The best thing about this game created by Rockstar is that you dive into the hell of the California life. Undercover gives you the impression of what it might be like the day after Judgment Day. Another criticism that jumps right at you is the repetition of the mission and races. You go from one chase scenario with the police to a closed-circuit race, and then another chase, and so on. The only motivation is to drive to win the maximum amount of money to access the more prestigious cars. Midnight has the same problem with nothing more to do than run a bunch of races. But at the end of the races, it isn't so sure that you'll win, which makes it a lot more interesting. The production values are rather mediocre. Even though the signalling distance is top, the frame rate does go into slow motion during a collision. The modelling isn't that good either. The reflections in the bodywork are exaggerated, and the damage suffered by the cars isn't realistic. It's a very arcade kind of game. The cars are too easy to drive. The biggest complaint we had, but it's simply just not that much fun. There's no drifting or sliding. Your car sticks to the pavement. There's no pleasure, and there's no need to roll out of the accelerator before the end of a race. It's a shame because Need for Speed always stood out with the fun driving it used to offer.